such an asshole.
Hello, children. AssleConsulting.com. I have a request. You have a request. You got money. Give me money. Money. Good money for me. Wisdom to you. You make more money. Had you not had that wisdom before. And everybody wins except the Socialist Party, known the Democrats. Hi, Cappy. This is Random Girl from Tejas. I was going to write to you about women fat shaming, but I've got something else bugging me. Long story short, I work at a place at a university in Texas, and approximately 50 of the kids I see are from California. When I ask the students, just for shits and giggles, what brought them all the way to the school in Texas, they have no idea. I'll get replies such as, I don't know, my sister lives here, or my parents are thinking of moving. In other words, they have no idea. Why do you think this is happening? Just your thoughts. I went to your website. It looked closed for now, so like live some about. Okay. All right, this is not that complicated. It's not that hard. The reason why you basically have NPCs, and that's what they are. That's what most young people are. That's what most college students are really just mindless robots. A lot of people are like, oh, we're going to worry about AI and automation. I'm like, we already got robots in the form of humans. You see them, they'll do the dumbest things. They will literally go at 75% rates to college and sign away their lives and in debt to give it to scam artists called professors for laughably stupid degrees. Then they'll go buy car. You got gals going and spending $5,000 on a purse. A purse. Oh, yeah, we better look out for that AI. We don't want the robots or the Borg coming. Heaven for all of us independent-minded humans. But the reason you got these kids going to an expensive college and moving all the way out, and they don't know, and they don't know why they're doing it, they don't know. It's because their parents don't love them. I don't know how many times I got to say this, okay? Most American parents do not love their kids as much as they love themselves. And I'm debating whether most American parents even love their kids. And you have to understand that the number one reason people have kids today is either because of an accident or, an accident, they wanted welfare, or they merely wanted to have a kid. None of them, nowhere near in the top 3 reasons that people have kids, nowhere near in the top 5 is, I want to be a parent. We really should call them breeders. American breeders today have children for the sake of themselves, not for the sake of the children, to raise some child, to love it, to invest in it, to make sure that child could go on and become better. They get it no different than an SUV. They get it no different than their master's degree. It's just, except for maybe when it comes to things like SUVs and McMansion houses in the suburbs, and I'm trying to think, finished basements, all this material crap. There's a biological component to having a child, but at no point in time do parents actually love their children. Because let's ask this. Everybody sit down, take your pens out, boys and girls. If you actually loved your children, what would you do with them? What would you do to them? Yeah. Versus if you just wanted to have a kid, well, what would you do? I'd have sex, and then you wouldn't abort the fetus, right? But if you wanted to have, and you wanted your kid to be, you loved your kid, you want to raise, what would you do? You'd raise it, you'd parent it. And I'm just shocked and appalled how little guidance and wisdom has gone into raising kids. Like, even people I know, like I consider good parents, like nowhere was the sit down strategy session. Like, there was no 5-year planning. I only know a handful of very precious few, quote unquote, children. These people are my age, or maybe a little bit younger, where their parents said, you're not majoring in that. You're not majoring in stuff, where they might have had a talk. But my gosh, they even make fun of it on television when the dad has to have the talk about the birds and the bees. Don't you think that's important? Unless you want to be a grandparent at, like, I don't know, 38. Parents, just like everybody else, but especially in America, are eternally lazy. And there's no harder job than raising a kid properly. It's thankless, it's costly, it's tiring. You get sick, they bring disease home. But in theory, it's then worth it for love. But it's not, you're not buying a luxury. You're not scratching a biological itch if you want to raise your child correctly. What you do is you invest in the child, you feed it, you clothe it, you educate it, and you got to give it street smarts. And that's the hard part there, street smarts. That includes punishing, discipline, bad cop, spanking. I mean, and that one's rampant. We don't discipline. We have chats. We have time. Shut the F up. I hope your kid comes home pregnant from 5 different dudes at the age of 15. And I hope your son goes and deals drugs and gets in trouble with the law. I hope, because you didn't raise your kid with boundaries and discipline and to respect others, that you suffer through the kid. Kids suffering anyway. I've written off the kids long ago. I don't want to see these kids suffer, but they're not my kids. I try. Hey, here's a little straight dope on the real world. No, that's all they want to do is the puppies and cakes and unicorns and hugs and family photos. There's no discipline. There's no sitting down and teaching the kids the hard facts of life. There's no sitting down and helping them with their homework. There's no forcing them to do their homework. There's no forcing them to get a job. Me and Donovan Sharp talked about this. We think the best dad was Corbin Berenson, the actor in Psych. He played this redheaded dad cop. And he was like giving his son discipline and this, and you got to do that. And he was preparing him for the real world. And that's what truly loving parents do, is they sacrifice their time and their comfort and their fear. That's the other buddy. They're afraid. I don't want to spank my child. I'm a pansy little soy boy millennial dad. They don't want to do the hard part of parenting. And so then they send their children out. And are you surprised they don't know why they're there, what they're supposed to do, what the point, purpose, and meaning in life is? Sadly, all I got out of my childhood, the lessons I learned was don't be poor, don't spend more than you make, and gosh, it'd be nice to have some food. That's kind of what I got. Now, the food thing came in college because I didn't have. I was well fed. Don't think I was like malnourished at home. But it was such a low level of sights aimed, where it's like, oh, just, food, clothing, and shelter. There was no discussion of love, the importance of significant others in your life, the importance of humans. Religion was tragically forced and jammed down my throat, even though I do believe religion plays a very important existential, spiritual component later on down the road when you get to it. Nobody said, do this or we're going to kill you, which is kind of like a lot of religions all over the place, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, there is no training given into these kids because their parents don't love them. The parents didn't want to invest in the kids. They just wanted to have kids. And that's not their job to raise their children. It's not their job to teach their children critical thinking skills and independent skills and teach them about the real world and helping them make wise choices and to be able to research and critically assess and diagnose. That's the teacher's job. And even then, before the teachers, it's the daycare provider's job. Even before that, it's the nanny's job. That's not my job. My job is done. I bred. And now I have my little boy. Another way you can tell that these parents really don't love their children, they only want it after they view their children as things, is you can have, oh gosh, Hunter Biden is the perfect. Here's a complete wreck. This complete and total failure of a human. And there's dad, oh, my son. Like all these rich people, and they're proud of their completely retarded children, the Kennedys. What else? I know it aligns with politics. The Daytons. Oh my gosh. I'm expecting them to start growing a third eye in the next generation, these blue bloods to decide to have another generation of kids. These people are all, well, that's my son, mine. If you can't get to the point as an adult to know that blood is not thicker than water, and you have nepotism, then you don't love your children. You love your genetic line. You love your pride. You have this nice little toy, this thing called a child, but you didn't instill ethics or principles or morality or work ethic. Oh, God, not the people I just mentioned. Here's our great-great-granddaddy's money. Let's go do good things with it. A girl managed to have sex with me. Hey, kids. Oh, she divorced me. That's all right. We'll just get more of granddaddy's money. But you can see there's no desire to take this little innocent life and prepare them for the real world, let alone gear them up for success. And I know a lot of there's some criticisms to be made about like the dragon mom, like the Asian tiger mom. And not just that one individual gal, but, like Asian culture. We're going to get it today, and you're going to get a degree in calculus, and we're going to do engineering, we're going to get a doctor. There's some, those parents invest more in their children. I think forcing them to take a classical instrument is dumb. I don't know what none of them, they like, oh, I play the violin. What? For fun? Because you're a surgeon. Oh yeah, my parents made me do it. Well, that was a lot of wasted time. You could let your kids play baseball every once in a while, but at least they're acutely aware of the importance of good grades, discipline, work ethic, and majoring in the right thing. Dude, compared to the rest of America, here's a perfect example. Compare and contrast the conversation that occurs between Asian parents and their children about education versus everyone else. Everyone else is follow your heart, money will follow. Oh my God, you got to go to college. You're the first person in our family to go to college. She's getting a degree in criminal justice, so she can find out why her 3 brothers are in jail and still have student loan debt. But she's a proud single mom at 17, getting a degree in criminal justice. So proud of my little girl. Meanwhile, the Asian parents, listen, Junior, let me explain to you what calculus is. And we're going to go to Kumon math, and we're going to go and do this, and you're going to do that. And here are the fields that we will pay for your education. If you don't go into there's actually a conversation, an uncomfortable conversation. Oh, and this is ultimately what it boils down to. I tried to find it in this book. I wrote it in this book, How Not to Become a Millennial. I couldn't find the anecdote, but there was this, and it epitomizes, it nails American parents down to a T. Okay. Both of the boomer generation, the parents having kids having kids now. I was at an event at a place, and nice people, don't get me wrong. And I was introduced to this nice couple, and then, of course, people say, this guy's got a company called Asshole Consulting. Can you believe it? Oh, really? What do you do? I say, I tell people the blunt truth, and I charge them egregious fees for it. Oh, my God, we could help. We could sure use your help with your daughter, or our daughter. I'm like, why? Well, she's having trouble finding herself. No. Having trouble finding herself means you were shitty fucking parents. You didn't hold her up to standards. He has social anxiety. No. Means his dad wasn't fucking around. If his dad was around, he didn't fucking discipline him and kick his ass into becoming a man. Another perfect example, side note, by the way. Oh, our son has the ahid and the bipolar. No, you shitty parents with shitty teachers at shitty schools who didn't want to invest or raise or discipline the kid or hold him to standards because that's hard. So here's the 30-year-old daughter. And then the father, oh my God, the father actually grew like a quarter test. He says, well, if you stop giving her money. And I was like, I'm still giving her money. At 30. 30, 30. And I said, and I made a mistake. I should have said, well, I can tell you what to do with your daughter, but it's going to cost you $200. And I didn't say that because I was trying to be nice. And there's the lesson. I didn't make any money that day, and no one listened to my advice anyway. I said, well, yeah, cut off your daughter and make her support herself. I couldn't do that. She's my baby. And that's not what the woman really meant. And you need to translate. That's ultimate virtue signaling. That's what it is. It's ultimately virtue signaling. Let me explain to you what it is. I'm such a shitty mother. I don't want to do what's in the long best term interest of my daughter, son, child, because I don't want to suffer the inconvenience and the pain of having an uncomfortable conversation with my daughter, which might hurt her feelings and make me feel bad. And so I will ruin her life, even at my own expense. So I am not discomforted. Me and the great one certainly have our political disagreements, but he nailed it. He nailed it. No, well, in this case, she was a white woman. No white woman in North America can be discomforted or should suffer discomfort. That's what it is. And so what do? You've now dumped, well, one, you've ruined this kid's life. Okay? Because this kid cannot function as an adult. Two, anyone this person interacts with, especially on a romantic level, is going to ruin them or not be a pleasant experience. Right? But then three, all above evidence, you love yourself more than your kid. Significantly so, because you don't want to be hurt a little bit or suffer a slight bit of pain having a hard but necessary conversation, right? Better to just let that kid, and here's your money. So I go good for my little business. And that's why your kids over at that college are just blind, just meandering around like zombies. Weak soy boy. Well, now Gen Z or zombie. I don't know. You can ask them a question. Well, why do you think that? You say, what kind of career or profession? They're 18. They're 18. In the olden days, shoot, you were 14. You could be a commander on a ship. Here they are, 18 years old. And I understand I feel a little bit bad for the kids, right? Because it's their parents that just sent this amorphous pile of goo off into the real world. And these kids not knowing what they're doing while going into $100,000 of debt, I'd imagine. A lot of debt, at their parents' expense or the taxpayer's expense or their own expense or a combination of all three. And why you say, well, parents couldn't. Why do parents sign these loans? Why do parents pay their way through college? If these kids are so and they don't even know what to study, wouldn't you say, the parents want the kids out of there? And the parents want their kids to go out and let me ask you this. Have you also seen this? Where this has happened, where the parents brag on the internet or brag to everyone that my son, my daughter got accepted to boobity loobity boppity boop you. And then, oh my God, brave and amazing and brave. Oh, yeah, like it's an accomplishment. No, not when 73% of people, well, 70% between men and women, go to college. That's not a big accomplishment getting accepted to college now. Then they graduate. Oh, I'm so proud of my little dad. No, you're using your child as a bragging piece. The parents want the kids out of there. So maybe dad can get back to banging mom on the kitchen table. But they also want, my daughter made it over to whatever, pick a worthless school, Middlebury. All right. Vassar, whatever these no-name East Coast sanctimonious fuck schools are. And it's all about them and their ego, not the kids. They dump the kid off. They don't care. Need more money, son. As long as I don't have to discipline you or educate you or have conversation, here's more money. Nothing's too good for me. Then the kid graduates. I graduated. He's my little baby. He's my little son. All about them again. Then they get accepted to grad school. Still waiting for people to work for a living and support themselves. That'd be a bigger, the poor working barista or a waiter or a bartender who's been working at the age of 18 and paying their own rent. That's way bigger accomplishment than some fucking a master's program that has yet to work one day in their life. I didn't know about it. Sorry, that's true. But it's never about actually what's in the best interest of the kids. It's all about the parents. The kid graduates, and then what? Well, now the real world really is here. Master's degree or not, And then they go work at it. And I think the best thing is then once again, they're finding themselves like the 30-year-old daughter of this gal who frankly loved herself more than her daughter. She's finding herself. Shut up. Game over. You lose and your kid definitely loses. And then it's punishment. Then it's pure torture. The absolute hell the millennials have gone through. And I do feel bad for them if any millennial dare cares to this be a foreign concept of millennials, but hear a different idea, entertain an idea you disagree with. That's just a little too crazy. But I do feel bad for them because, my God, their lives have been a true mental torture. When they're young, they don't have a mental disorder, but they're told they have one. Then when they get old, it's like, yeah, you definitely got one now because everything you were told was a lie. And now you're up shit creek with student loan debt. You have completely worthless employable skills. You're angry. You're pissed off. Oh, by the way, you were told to vote left all the time by your professors, that money of which has entered now slowly, well, not slowly, actually, quite rapidly made its way into the housing market, driving up housing prices and the consequential rents it takes to afford those houses way up that you can't even afford to rent a place. Free money. Socialism. I feel bad for them. And they're almost half dead. I think millennials are approaching late 30s. I mean, there's some younger ones, but you're in your 30s, half dead. At least all of your youth is gone. Your entire youth is gone. Well, who did that to you? Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be the two people that spent the most amount of time with you. That would be your teachers and professors, and then your parents. And you believed all their bullshit. And now that's the consequence. And the pain and misery and suffering is all by the fact the majority of your parents, both of yesteryear and today, didn't love you as much as they love themselves. They love themselves more. They love their politics more. They love being not to have to suffer hard conversations. They love being lazy and not having doing the hard discipline. They love being able to lie to you to spare your feelings because telling the truth is hard. They love so many more things than you. And then you guys still believe it. Never mind. I don't really care about that. But yes, that's why. Parents didn't put any effort into these kids. None. If there's any goal these kids have, it's this childish, cultish, psychopathic, radical even SJW political causes and crusades they've got. It's like, shut up, kid. You haven't even worked a day in your life. Get out of here. Maybe go fall in love. But that's maybe, if any programming, that came from the schools. If any, that's at most what they got. But you just push them a little bit. Well, what are you going to do with that? Oh, work for the government? Yeah. Like, I am a college student. I am smart. I am so smart. Can you give me more money? I need more money so I can further my education. Education is the key to success. But yes, I'm going to grad school. So there you go. It's kind of like, hey, Aaron, there's this block of wood. And let's say I was a really good wood whittler. And I whittled this block of wood into a fancy looking Ferrari. And I even stained it and did the right and kind of polished it too. Put on lacquer or whatever. So here you go. Here's a Ferrari. That's the amount of effort. And if I had kids, I'm like, here it is. This is my boy. This is my girl. Hope to God they make it. And if they don't, well, it's not my fault then because I did it right. But I'm sending that out. Most parents today, they'll draw a circle or two, maybe chisel a chunk or two. Oh, here you go. I don't want to inhibit the creativity. Yeah, but you just can't send out a block of wood and call it art either. I don't want to define them. So yes, that's why they are NPCs. That's why, sadly, most of their lives are over before, what was it? This battle was over before it started. That was the Patriot. This battle was over before it started. I mean, these kids' lives are over before they started. And it's because their parents love themselves more than their kids. So there you guys go. Get this book. It'll help the millennials at least get their sanity back. It'll also make you feel good if you just got so sick and tired of these millennial sanctimonious ass wipes acting like they knew so fucking much. and in addition to getting that book, if you have kids, fucking raise them, huh? No, not a no. Whoa, no. All right. Juan, the Aztec patriarch, for $5. It's sad how parents aren't involved when hiking with my children. I never see kids. I genuinely feel sad for the kids because it's not their fault. Yeah, man. And you know what? Whenever, see, not in your case, but whenever these normal American parents who love their SUVs and their status and the privilege and their careers more than their kids, like the day's coming that they'll, whether it's divorce or they'll go for bankrupt or maybe they will make millions of dollars and their kids are gone. They don't get it back. They don't get their children's childhood back. I mean, that's why I spend a lot of time with the little rugrats with my nieces, because I know they're going to get older. And then soon they're not going to want to hang out with Uncle Aaron. They're going to find boys or something like that. And I'm like, hey, kids, you want to? Oh, Uncle Aaron. And you're packing in now on you take your kids out hiking, you spend time with them. And so, yeah, I feel bad for the kids. But man, the parents, they're gonna be old, and they're gonna say, oh. And what's really tragic is they had kids. Like the kids lived in the house for 18, in millennials' cases, 30 years, but they never spent time with those kids. Always outsourcing, always kicking them out. Always, here's the money. Here, we need to invest in more education. We just need more money. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. But then those kids all grow up to be Marxists, like, I need more money and I'm entitled. Yeah, I was like, oh, shut up, you teacher brainwashed NPC. Nonstop trade, 2000. But Cappy, they say it takes a village to raise kids. Well, nowadays it does. And the real men aren't having kids. By the way, ladies, there's a ton of soy boys and sensitive, caring 90s men who will have children for you. They will. They will grant you their seed. But a lot of guys are, nope, nope. But, no. What don't you know? No means no. No means no. Osama Abdu for $2. AC, how do you know much about human psychology? It came through economics, I'll tell you that. The economics is really nothing more than an accounting ledger of human behavior on a macro, national, even international level. Like, I don't know specifically about that individual over there, but when I look, let's take debt, for example, deficit spending as a percent of GDP. When I see a country that has a deficit spending of, say, 5% or more, and you're not in wartime as GDP, that's an irresponsible society. That's an irresponsible group of people. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want free crap, but they don't want to pay for it. Another thing is labor force participation rate. How lazy are people? What percent of your able-bodied people are working? So yeah, man, you really start to, you don't know the individuals in, there's 20 million Americans, but you can look at it and say, yeah, this is what this society as a group of people have done. And then keep in mind, so I presume I'm older than you. I'm 45. And for about 20 of those years, it's been kind of like, well, in always one way or another, I never believed what I was being told. I always hated my teachers. I distrusted them. I always hated the kids I went to school with. And it's just permitting your brain to have that epiphany. You're like, what if I'm not the one with the problem and all you guys are? And then also you start to realize, oh yeah, people are conditioned a certain way to be consumerists, to be assholes, to be arrogant, cocky pricks. Everyone's a suburbanite prince or princess, even if you come from the suburbs or not. Everyone, go to the ghetto. Everybody's a winner there. Follow your dreams. Money will follow. Here's some free government money. It's still free government money. Just because it doesn't come from some daddy warbucks in the burbs doesn't mean that the kids still don't have to work for it. Humans are pretty easy to figure out. But I took Psych 101 or whatever the mandatory class was in school. And another thing is to know that psychology is bullshit. It's just look at people. You'll figure it out. Don't worry. You'll see. Ben Jones, $5. The more my 7-year-old son tells me I'm being mean, the happier I am. There you go. That's right. There you go. I know I'm making him do things that'll help him instead of make him feel good. At 7 years old, he can start collecting cans at that age, Could shovel driveways, rake leaves. It's a good time to get him started on that. Nonstop Dre, $2. But Cappy, you don't have kids. How would you know? It's always amazing. Like, people just think you don't remember being a child. Like once you turn 18, those previous 17 years just poof, went away. Oh my God, what am I doing here? I've been half tempted. I won't. Okay, Dre, I'll let you in on a little secret here. I've been half tempted to write the childless bachelor's guide to raising children, because pretty much, again, as I've evidenced over this video, the majority of American parents are fuckwits. But here's the thing. Most American parents don't want to be good parents. That's the it'd fall on deaf ears. So it'd be more of a social criticism, not commentary, a criticism, just lambasting, criticizing, yelling at modern day American parents. And just kind of like, yeah, I don't even have kids, and I'd be way better than you guys. Because it's pretty common sense and burbity boppity boppity bee. Hang on one minute. There's Dre's. We got a couple more here. I want to get to this like 5,000 currency donation because I got to look it up. Big Brother for 20 New Zealand dollars. Thanks, Big Brother. First time to catch up with your live stream. Thought of contributing. Keep up the good work, though it looks like some of our millennials are already lost. Oh, dude, I don't know. We can look at we can use the Biden-Trump election as kind of a proxy as to what percent of the millennial generation learned its lesson, which they haven't. Because, dude, by the time you're 35, you're pretty set. You're not changing. You're not going to like, hey, wait a minute. I really ought to go study macroeconomics, and I really ought to study the federal budget, not just today, but look at it historically in the context of history and policies that were enacted. It's not going to happen. The battle was over before it started. Okay, now CLP. Let me see if I can guess this. Marcos Vargas Moran. Okay, Latin. Could be Spaniard, but he's a little too tan to be Spaniard. CLP. I'm gonna, and 5,000. Yeah, wait, Spain would be on the euro. I'm gonna go South America. I could be wrong. Let's see. Something pesos. Colombian pesos. What else starts in C? Maybe Costa Rica. Maybe we're in Central America. Hang on, let's look this up. CLP. Chile. Ow! Dang it, Chile. It's Chile. Wait, the Chilean peso is that low against the US dollar? Whoa. Well, it's not that the exchange rate technically is irrelevant to how well it's doing. I thought Chile was doing good. My God, 1.3 cents. No wonder you had to donate 5,000 of those things. All right, 1.3 cents. So 0.013 times 5,000. Oh, 65 cents. I was about $65. No, I did that. 0.013. 65 cents. Yeah. Does that look right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, 65 cents. Cappy, I remember my mom making me say trivia to prove I'm smart. When I became 11, I knew both mom and dad didn't have anything going on for me, but in university, he's going to be an engineer. Well, that's good of your parent. Wait, did they say you were going to be an engineer? Wait, I can't remember my mom making me say trivia to prove I'm smart. When I became 11, I knew both my mom and dad didn't have anything going on for them, but me in university, he's going to be an engineer. Good. Well, there, your parents, that's better than the average American parent, what they do for their parents or for their kids. Darn, I was going to hope it was like $5,000. That would have been like a piping widow who we like. We're pro piping widow. And the reason why is not because she's a redhead, although she gets bonus points for that, but she picks on Jack Napier. And that's all that matters. IQ 158. Wow. Raising two boys has been the most mentally and emotionally challenging thing I've ever done, including 10 years in IT and 2 IT degrees. Awesome. Well, you invested in your boys, and hopefully you told them not to major in stupid things, which I can't imagine you doing that with you having 2 degrees in IT after all. Joe Jones, $2. A-hole is right on this. Trust me, I know. Yep. Man could kill all day and his job still wouldn't be done. I don't have a lot of things I'm for, but unlike every other leftist, I actually am for the children. It pisses me off when you bring a kid into this world and you don't raise it. All right. I think that's it. We got everything caught up. Good. All right. There you go. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.